river. Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
Continuing to lead, and just Jose having little looks everywhere, still not able to get around him. What an unbelievable defensive masterclass this is from Unorthodox. Hit window we reckon is open, so the game reckons that these guys need to make one more pit stop for a fresh set of inters. As we see just Jose having a little to the inside. Dan tries to close the door, squeezes up against the pit wall. It goes late on the brakes this Dan. Somehow he's going to hold on to that position. Wow, unbelievable racing that was from Unorthodox. Just Jose had the inside line. Dan went so late on the brakes and managed to hold it down on the outside, and just Jose wasn't able to cling onto the position. That is incredible racing there from Unorthodox. Really got his elbows massively there in that little battle, but just Jose still not able to get ahead of Dan. But is he going to be able to do it now? He's going to have the outside. Dan's going to try and throw one back up the inside. As he is. Oh, look at that. He's gone deep into the corner though. And I think just Jose's got to have that move done. He has. Just Jose swoops round into the lead of the Russian Grand Prix here at Motive Racing. Dan can fight it no more. He put up a valiant effort. continuing to lead, and just Jose having little looks everywhere, still not able to get around him. What an unbelievable defensive masterclass this is from Unorthodox. Pit window, we reckon, is open, so the game reckons that these guys need to make one more pit stop for a fresh set of inters. As we see just Jose having a little to the inside. Dan tries to close the door, squeezes up against the pit wall. It goes late on the brakes, just Dan. Somehow he's going to hold on to that position. Wow! Unbelievable racing that was from Unorthodox. Just Jose had the inside line. Dan went so late on the brakes and managed to hold it down on the outside, and just Jose wasn't able to cling onto the position. That is incredible racing there from Unorthodox. Really got his elbows massively there in that little battle, but just Jose still not able to get ahead of Dan. But is he going to be able to do it now? He's going to have the outside. Dan's going to try and throw one back up the inside. Is he? Is. Oh, look at that. He's gone deep into the corner though. And I think just Jose's got to have that move done. He has. Just Jose swoops round into the lead of the Russian Grand Prix here at Motive Racing. Dan can fight it no more. He's put up a valiant effort. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the little delay getting going here for this one, but we are currently in the qualifying session for round 9 of the Wednesday and Sunday Formula 1 League here in collaboration with Viper and Philby's Formula 1 community on the Formula 1 game. This is Motive Racing and the F1 2021 community, hosted by those two. Have come together, mainly those two with the drivers, but we're streaming and commentating this league for this season, and most likely in the future as well. And around 9 of the season, as I said, coming into the final minute of the qualifying session, we're here. Hungary for this one. Hungary's famed for not being the easiest that track to overtake, so I'm sure we're going to be in for an interesting one tonight, that is for sure. But Element currently sat at the top of the leaderboard, doing a great job here in this qualifying session. Currently 0.3 of a second clear of Horatio at the top of that leaderboard as it stands. Then we've got Bennett, LCFC in third in the Red Bull. Surprising to see Bennett down in third. He's usually a pretty strong qualifier, but did his best up on the soft tyres. All of the drivers in the top 10 have done their fastest laps on the soft tyres. But Element has tried to do another lap on the mediums, hasn't been able to go quicker on the medium tyres though. Let's see what Bennett can do out of the last corner. He's got half a second to find as he comes up towards the line. What is it going to be for Bennett? Doesn't improve, stays in P3, so it doesn't look like it's going to be any further up the grid for him. What about Philby? Can Philby improve on this current lap that he's on in towards the final corner? He comes. Philby, Mr. Consistent so far this season. Every race I've seen him in, apart from last week, he's been in the podium. What's this lap going to be for him? He improves his lap by a 10th, but it's not enough to move himself up the order. Stays in P4 in this qualifying session. Polish my balls in the pits. King of 69, the last driver out there on a lap time here. And we've got a slightly depleted field for tonight. Could be down to the football being on. But I think that's that for this session. Had a similar story in the GT4s a few minutes ago. Only 12 drivers turned out for that. So I don't know if the footballs maybe meaning that a few people can't turn out for the races tonight. We had GT4s and ACC, obviously the F1 league here right now. And yeah, not the best of turnouts in both, but could be down to the football. Who knows? But that is that then for the qualifying session. So Element starting on pole position for this one. 3 cents clear of ratio. Bennett LCFC in third field before RaKiMaJe, Andrew Pipsmith, Viper, Mark Bow, Mr. Exotic and San completing the top 10. Polish My Balls, King of 69, Sove and Paul Cod completing the field. Continuing to lead and just Jose having little looks everywhere, still not able to get around him. What an unbelievable defensive masterclass this is from Unorthodox. Pit window we reckon is open, so the game reckons that these guys need to make one more pit stop for a fresh set of inters. As we see just Jose having a little to the inside. Dan tries to close the door, squeezes up against the pit wall. It goes late on the brakes just down. Somehow he's going to hold on to that position. Wow! Unbelievable racing that was from Unorthodox. Just Jose had the inside line. Dan went so late on the brakes and managed to hold it down on the outside, and just Jose wasn't able to cling onto the position. That is incredible racing there from Unorthodox. Really got his elbows massively there in that little battle, but just Jose still not able to get ahead of Dan. But is he going to be able to do it now? He's going to have the outside. Dan's going to try and throw one back up the inside. Is he is? Oh, look at that. He's gone deep into the corner though. And I think just Jose's got to have that move done. He has. Just Jose. Here we go then, guys. 5 red lights are on here at Hungary, and it is lights out and away we go. And looks as though Horatio got a good jump off the line, but so did Bennett as well. The Red Bull's absolutely flying there. And that's Bennett looking to the inside here of Element into turn 1. Is he going to have that move done? Oh, as we see Philby going aggressively on the inside and manages to muscle Bennett out of the way. Philby and Bennett side by side. Oh no, the Haskell of Element into the wall. Gets tagged a little bit there as they came through the first corner. And looks like there's been a big incident as Element there, well down to the back of the field. Philby there into the lead. Bennett looked like he tagged him a little bit and has lost out a couple of positions. Andrew Pipsmith up into second place. What a start from Andrew Pipsmith. Bennett in third. There's Horatio. Viper, Tree Monkey Page, Mark Bow, Mr. Exotic. Oh, as we see Mark Bow getting a big slide there, coming through turn 4, and he's off into the wall. And I think there's been other drivers involved there. Tree Monkey Page is also dropping down to the back of the field. Element gains 2 positions there after his horrible start to the race. Philby leads ahead of Andrew Pipsmith. No double waved yellow flags, no safety cars here, despite absolute carnage in the first few corners. But Philby leads ahead of Andrew Pipsmith. Bennett, Horatio, Viper, the top 5, Mr. Exotic and San currently running together in 6th and 7th places. King 69, Paul Cobb, Polish My Balls, Soph. And then in 11th place there's Element in 12th from Mark Bow and Tree Monkey Page. Rounding out the field, Mark Bow and Tree Monkey Page and Element all involved in scuffles in the first lap of this race, should I say. Philby though leads ahead of Andrew Pipsmith, and Andrew Pipsmith driving a brilliant race here on this opening lap, getting pretty close to the race leader as we're coming around to complete the first lap here. And currently Philby will be pretty happy with how aggressive he went into the first corner, because it's got him the lead of the race. And as we see Bennett having a look to the inside there of Andrew, and he's got that move done up into turn 1. Brilliant stuff there from Bennett up into second place. Andrew powerless to fight back coming in towards turn 2 by the looks of it, having a little look to the inside, but the McLarens can't get a move back done on the Red Bull at the moment. Horatio there in 4th place, pressure in the back of Andrew Pipsmith every way that he can. Viper there in P5. There's Mr. Exotic, San, King of 69, just over a second off of the back of these guys. Paul Cod, Polish My Balls completing the top 10. So dropped off the back of these guys a little bit there. Element, Tree Monkey Page and Mark Bow unsurprisingly all in the pits after their calamities on the opening lap of the race. But Philby leads here by 0.6 of a second. Bennett not letting off the hook though. These two have gapped Andrew Pipsmith by over a second there, coming to the middle sector of the lap. As Horatio is trying to get the move done on Andrew as well. Viper in the background. Mr. Exotic's dropped well off the back top 5 now. The top 5 are breaking away from the rest of them, and Sans dropped off the back of Mr. Exotic as well. King of 69 on the medium tyres, having a good first stint. Not easy to get those medium tyres where you need him to be, but right now he's doing the business really well at this point. Can it stay that way? We'll have to see. But really good job at the moment from King of 69, being more or less in the picture on the mediums. Polish My Balls also started on the mediums here in this one. He's on the back of Paul Cod at the moment, as we see Soph on the hard tyres, so she's going to be able to go along into this first stint as well. Bennett sets the fastest lap of the race, 0.6 he is behind Philby at the moment. No DRS as we came into the detection zone when we were still on lap 2, but into turn 1. Bennett not close enough to get that move done on Philby at the moment. Andrew Pipsmith running in 3rd place, only 0.6 behind Bennett at the moment, but he's got Horatio hot on his heels up towards turn 2. but actually he's got about a second back to him, so he should be okay for the time being. King of 69 within 3/10 of Sand. Paul Codd, Polish My Balls, so keeping them on their toes, to be fair, despite being on the hard tyres. Not a bad first couple of laps from Soph. Element, RaKiMaJe and Mark Both all being into the pits, and it's going to be an uphill battle for those guys in this race, that is for sure. This is your man currently in control of this one, Bennett LCFC, though, really putting the pressure on Philby, but we know that it's difficult to overtake in Hungary, so track position really is key to a successful race, as Philby currently doing what he has to do right now, and he pretty much has to park his car for the rest of the race, and he should be able to win, as Hungary is a little bit of a narrow track, but there's also not really many overtaking spots either, as we see. Mr. Exotic there, losing the position to Sand up into 6th place. Now King of 69 is trying to knock Mr. Exotic while he's down if he can, and he's up the inside into that corner, and he's going to have that move done into the brakes, as we see Mr. Exotic getting really overzealous onto the curb there. Paul Codd, Polish My Balls, running just behind him in 10th place. So still keeping these guys are very much close to her, so could be in with a shout once we get to the pit window. Being on those hard tyres, she can go long into that first stint. Out of the final corner though to complete the 3rd lap here of this race. Currently the battle for 7th place, really heating up. 6th place even. Sand, King of 69, Mr. Exotic. It looks like we've got Paul Codd looking to the inside into turn 1, and Mr. Exotic there turned in a little bit. It was a little bit late of a defence move, but Paul Codd is now going to face pressure from Polish My Balls up towards turn 2. Polish My Balls looking to the outside. He's going to get it done though for the time being. Paul Codd fends that one off. There's no way around him at the moment. But he definitely left himself vulnerable, didn't he? Trying to get the move done. Mr. Exotic always gone wide out of turn 3, and that is now Polish My Balls up into 9th place. But Paul Codd comes back at him. Great racing there as Polish My Balls goes wide coming out of turn 4. And now Paul Codd really wide almost onto the grass, trying to get the move done on Mr. Exotic. Mr. Exotic's in 8th place. King of 69 has dropped off the back of Sand. Sand's now trying to put some breathing space between himself and this mid-pack battle here. In the meantime, let's go back to the leaders, because Philby's just about keeping Bennett LCFC behind him. Back for how much longer? Bennett up the inside into the penultimate corner, pushes him a little bit wide, maybe just returning the favour after turn 1, lap 1, but Philby's going to have the inside line for the final corner, still side by side, and Philby is going to just ease him out wide, but now he's going to have DRS's Bennett LCFC, and down the pit straight we come. And Bennett LCFC is going to have that move done, I think, before we get to the braking zone. Is Philby going to go for a late move on the inside? He is! Has he overshot the corner, though? I think he has. He has overshot the corner, and Bennett swoops back up the inside, and Philby's now vulnerable to an attack here from Andrew Pittsmith on the outside, coming into turn 2. DRS for the McLaren, and Andrew's got that done up into 2nd place. Brilliantly done there from Andrew, seizing on Philby's little mistake, and Philby will be regretting going hot into turn 1 now, that is for sure. Ratio still sat in 4th place. These guys have gapped Viper. Viper's made a mistake. Paul Codd's got ahead of Mr. Exotic up into 8th place. The great stuff there from him. But we can still see Philby trying to hassle the back of Andrew Pittsmith, trying to get back up into 2nd place if he possibly can. Horatio's just behind these guys in 4th place. But Bennett LCFC, whilst these guys behind him scrap it out, has managed to get a bit of a gap out the front. RaKiMaJe sets the fastest lap of the race from 12th place. He's got to head into 12th place because Polish My Balls has come into the pits to put a new set of mediums on, presumably fixing damage there because he was on the mediums and could have gone long into that first stint. But Bennett's got 1.2 seconds out the front over Andrew Pittsmith at the moment. Yellow flags through the 2nd sector. Double waved yellow flags, so presumably a bit of an incident, not sure where. Looks like all the cars look pretty healthy to me, as King of 69 is trying to get back onto the rear end of Sand if he possibly can. These guys now a long way ahead of Mr. Exotic. Soph running in 9th place ahead of Paul Codd. Having got ahead of Paul Codd, Paul Codd must have made a mistake somewhere over the course of this last lap or so. Bennett sets the fastest lap of the race and putting out that gap to Andrew Pittsmith at the front though. As Andrew Pittsmith still running in 2nd place, 1.3, a gap between Bennett and Andrew Pittsmith. Horatio dropping off the back of Andrew a little bit, but Andrew Pittsmith, the standout performer tonight, I've got to say, has done a really solid job over the course of this one so far. Viper into the pits, Philby also into the pits. Philby's put a set of the mediums on, Viper's put the hards on, but I don't think you can go to the end from here. Hungary is a very tough track on the tyres, so I think that he's probably setting himself up for a soft stint at the end, maybe. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Paul Codd into the pits to get those soft tyres changed. He's done 4 laps on them, came at the end of lap 1. He's already coming in for a change, so I know, maybe not actually, maybe not. He has done 5 laps on them, so that is, yeah. So no, ignore me, I'm talking rubbish. Bennett still leads by 1.8 seconds ahead of Andrew Pittsmith at the moment, 1.3 back to Horatio, who's trying to bring that gap down to Andrew at this point. King of 69 is within a DRS range of Sand. These guys are going to have Philby putting up into the back of them pretty shortly. Philby has already made that pit stop, so he will be hoping that they don't fight him too hard. But they are in a battle of their own, so we can't really expect them to jump out of the way and be like, after you, my good sir. That's just not realistic at this point. But Sand's still running just ahead of King of 69 at this point. So currently still sat in no, not anymore. Viper's got ahead of her up into 8th. So nicely done there from Viper. Both of these on the hard tyres, but Viper on 5 lap younger tyres. That was a routine move there for the McLaren, getting ahead of the Ferrari. In the meantime, Q69's still ahead of... no, he's not. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Q69's got ahead of Sun. As Sun's coming into the pits, presumably to get those soft tyres changed, you'll need to get that done because those soft tyres are going to be screaming out at this point. Bennett and Andrew and Horatio still going on their soft tyres. No mean feat there because then they are not very durable to say the least. They're very quick, but they do start to shrivel up after 6 or 7 laps, and probably less than that around a track like this. Element sets the fastest lap of the race, but he really did put an nail in his chances of getting a good result in this race on the first lap. Could be a good recovery try from him though, we'll have to see, because I don't know, if it's a 2-stopper and he can still do a 2-stopper from here, then he may still have a good chance in this race. It really does depend how long he can go into this first stint. I mean, he could go to say lap 15 and put the hards on, go to the end, or we could really stretch it out and try and go to lap 17 or 18. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. If he's very kind to the tyres, he might be able to do a double stint on the mediums. Otherwise, he could do a 2-stopper and put the hards on. He'll lose a bit of pace, but at least he'll be doing less pit stops. We'll have to see what he elects to do there. But we've currently got Viper going past Mixer Exotic. Brilliantly done there from Viper, gaining another position up into 6th place. Andrew Pittsmith there in the pits, getting those tyres changed on the McLaren, putting the hards on. I wonder if he's going to go to the end from here. Could potentially be onto a winner there. Could Andrew Pittsmith. We'll have to see how that pans out. As he comes out just behind Philby, so Andrew's actually gained a bit of time there on Philby. 8 tenths between those two. Andrew on the hards maybe can go to the end. Philby certainly cannot. So I don't know, could be a bit of an ace up his sleeve there for Andrew Pittsmith. We'll have to hold our horses on that one. But Bennett LCFC still doing everything he has to do in this race. He's been leading this one since getting the move done on Philby at the end of lap 2. He got pushed a little bit wide into turn 1, got bashed around a bit, but ultimately escaped without any damage and looks in a pretty good position here to take another win here in the Wednesday and Sunday League. Bennett LCFC is already taken a hat-trick of wins in the last 3 races. Could he make it 4 in a row? Unprecedented that would be if he was able to do that. Coming towards the end of lap 8, he's done 8 laps on these soft tyres. This man is a master of looking after his tyres. I've got to say, he's not only quick, but he's also very, very conservative as well. Conservative in terms of tyres, not in terms of political. I've been told off for that before. But Bennett's still leading ahead of Horatio at the moment. 16 seconds behind Horatio is Philby. Philby should be able to jump Horatio in the pits, or not jump him, but hold position. But I think Bennett is probably in a prime position to come out in the net lead once he comes in to make his pit stop. Philby's already capped Andrew Pittsmith, as you'd expect, being that Philby's on the mediums, Andrew's on the hards. The big question is, can Andrew go long on these hards and go to the end of the race? That is the big question, which may give him a bit of an edge over Philby, but again, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Element's got ahead of Soph up into 7th place there. The Haas moving ahead of the Ferrari as Soph is running on those hard tyres, which she started on, and she can go long into this first stint. Probably do a 1-stopper as well. If she puts the mediums on say lap 21 or 22 or something, then she should be able to make the 1-stop work. But Bennett out in front, currently handling business as he has done throughout the last 3 races, looking set to make it 4 in a row. He's coming into the pits to get those soft tyres changed. Does Horatio do the same? No, Horatio stays out, interestingly, or obviously, because they're teammates at Red Bull, so they couldn't come in on the same lap, could they? Oh, I'm stupid sometimes, honestly. I amaze myself in my stupidity, but Horatio comes around to take the lead of the race anyway. Bennett in and out of the pits already. Philby coming around the final corner. What's going to happen here between Bennett and Philby? I think Bennett should be just about have enough, but Philby's really motoring down the start-finish straight. In fact, no, Philby's got it done. Philby up into the net lead of the race, I think. It all depends on what Horatio does, but I think Philby has just taken the lead of the race there. He's managed to undercut Bennett brilliantly, and Philby now in control of this race. Bennett's got it all to do, especially around the track where it is extremely difficult to overtake. Both of these two need to come in for another pit stop. Andrew Pittsmith maybe doesn't, just behind them, so Andrew could be in a really prime position here if he's able to go to the end on those hard tyres. But even if he isn't able to go to the end on those hard tyres, I reckon he would be able to do a soft stint at the end, because he put those hard tyres on lap 20. No, what am I on about? I'm thinking of how many laps he's going to do. That's why that number's in my head. But he put those tyres on at the end of lap. I think it was lap 7. So he has to do 28 laps on those hard tyres. So even if he can't go to the end on those hard tyres, what he can do is he can put the softs on at the end, whereas Philby and Bennett will have to run on the mediums. So Andrew will have a pace advantage in the last few laps. But again, it's very difficult to overtake at Hungary, so he may have given himself a very difficult job there. But with that being said, Horatio's into the pits. That is going to release Philby back into the lead of the race. Bennett right up his chuff though. These two giving it everything. These two big rivals here in this Wednesday and Sunday F1 League. One man to keep an eye on over the course of this race has been TreeMonkeyPage. He's up into 10th place. He looks like he's lining up another move here on King of 69. It's been a good comeback drive from TreeMonkeyPage so far. Maybe he can make the 2-stop work on a set of mediums. If he wants to play it safe, he could put a set of the hards on and go to the end after he's done these mediums. But if he's really kind to those tyres, maybe, just maybe, he might be able to make another set of mediums work. I think he started on the softs, so he should be okay to put another set of mediums on. But if he plays it safe, it'd be best advice to put the hards on. But we have to see. At this point, that was a hiccup. But Philby's still running ahead of Bennett right now. 7 tenths between these two. Philby took the lead a little bit earlier on. Bennett has been pressuring him over these last couple of laps since they came out of the pits together. But Philby did a great job of getting the jump on Bennett. And he looks like he's in control at the moment. But for how much longer? Around a track where it's difficult to overtake, Philby knows that track position is everything. These two, 2.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Pittsmith. Andrew will be sat there hoping that these two start giving each other a bit of a headache and start holding each other up and scrapping it out, because that will give him the chance to keep the gap down. And as we've already said, Andrew on those hard tyres will be able to put a soft set of softs on at the end, as opposed to these guys probably having to do another stint on the mediums. So Andrew could be in a prime position here. In fact, if he really, really does go long, he can get those hard tyres to the end, but I don't think that's doable. I think that might be a little bit beyond him. But these two, Philby and Bennett, continuing their great rivalry that they've had throughout the course of this season. These two have been going at it, hammer and tong over these last few races. Philby will be absolutely sick to death of seeing Bennett taking the last 3 race wins. He will be looking to try and stop that run of form from Bennett, and he's going to be out there with a vengeance tonight. He's going to be looking in those rear mirrors thinking, no mate, you've had enough success, you've had enough race wins. I think you must be bored of standing on that top step by now. I'm pretty sure you fancy a second spot. And he's going to be thinking to himself, you know what, his run of form is over. This is now the time of the Philby, but Philby is going to have his hands full because Bennett is really pushing him to the limit at the moment. These two, as always, really putting on a great show in towards the penultimate corner. Bennett trying going around the outside of the second to last corner, but Philby too alert and alive to that, and he's not going to be passed around the outside there by the Red Bull. As these two coming out of the final corner now to complete the 12th lap of the race, and Bennett's got a lovely run out of the final corner down the pit straight. DRS wide open for the Red Bull, and he's going to have that move done into turn 1. Is he going to brake at the right spot? Philby's going to try and get the cut back if he can. Oh, a bit of a crash between those two. The cameraman takes a while to plan to it. I think there was a contact there. Philby lets Bennett go on his way because I think he probably took responsibility for that little bit of contact. And Bennett up into the race, and looks like those two have got away without any damage, but there was definitely contact there because as the camera panned over to the next corner, they took a little bit too long to get into the camera shot, and I'm sure there was contact. There must have been. They must have had a little bit of a moment which stopped them from getting into the next sort of camera view, if you like. But Bennett into the lead ahead of Philby. 2.5 seconds back to Andrew Pittsmith running in 3rd place right now. Horatio in 4th, and Viper running in 5th place at the moment. He's got element breathing down his neck there in 6th place. San is next on TreeMonkeyPage's radar, as TreeMonkeyPage is looking to continue to make gains here in this race. Is he going to have DRS up towards turn 4? He's going to have the inside line. No, Sam cuts him off and he's holding on to 7th place there. TreeMonkeyPage not able to get another position there. Paul Codd is out of the race. He's retired from the session. Is that going to be a safety car? We've got double waved yellow flags between Sector 1 and Sector 2 and Sector 3 as well. In fact, no, Sector 2 and Sector 3 now, so it's kind of like the race director's kind of having a bit of a mare there. But, oh no, Element's lost his front wing. That's why we got yellow flags between Sector 2 and 3, because Element has just lost his front wing, and that debris will be lying in the middle of the track, and he's going to have to come in and get that repaired. Element could really do with a safety car at this point, but I don't think it's going to be forthcoming. He's going to have to brave it out and try and recover at racing speeds, but he's coming into the pits to get that front wing changed on that Haas car, and that has not gone to plan at all there for Element. Oh, no, it's RaKiMaJe has lost it whilst trying to get the move done on San. We saw San really going a little bit, really pushing it with the aggression in defending. But RaKiMaJe has lost it, coming out the second to last corner. Into the pits he comes to get a fresh set of tyres on. I wonder if he's going to put the hards on and try and go to the end from here. But Element has put a set of the hards on. He can definitely go to the end. Soph's still running on the hards, which she's had since the start of this race. Presumably going to wait until she can put a set of mediums on. Bennett, though, has a 2-second lead over Philby. So he's got ahead of him and has now pulled out that gap. Bennett LCFC looking once again, I dread to say, because he's won the last 3 races, but he's looking like he might be on for another win here. This man has been in imperious form over the last couple of weeks, and once again, he's showing that he's got the skills to pay the bills. Lap 15 of 35 in this race, but Bennett LCFC doing an absolutely superb job here tonight at the Hungary ring for round 9 of the Wednesday and Sunday Formula 1 League. Horatio is on the back of Andrew Pipsmith now in this battle for the final podium spot. But right now, looking pretty tight between these two. Horatio looking left, looking right, looking for a way around Andrew if he can. But Andrew's holding firm. Double waved yellow flags to the middle sector. Not 100% what that's all about at the minute. Bennett's still out in front, doing what he has to do. 2.7 is his gap to Philby at this point. Horatio within 7/10 of a second of Andrew Pipsmith right now. No real other battles going on at the moment. This is really it in terms of the scraps out on track at this point. As Mr. Exotic's out of the race. Oh no. Safety cars deployed. Who's that going to play into the hands of? I'll tell you one person who's really not going to benefit from that, and that is Sophie, because she had the hards on since the beginning of the race, but she's got to use 2 different tyre compounds in the race. So she can't, it's not like she can put another set of the hards on and go to the end of the race. She needs to run on the mediums, which means she's going to have to miss this pit stop unless she does 2 soft skids to the end of the race. But I'm just thinking there, that's going to be a real pain for her. But Philby's been in and out of the box during that time. Viper's coming in as well now. So Philby emerges in P4, making the most of the safety car period with the deltas. The enforced deltas being down on the usual lap times that are being set by these guys. Philby coming out in 4th on fresh mediums. I wouldn't have thought he can go to the end from here though, unless the safety car period is particularly elongated. I wouldn't imagine that he'd be able to go to the end. San's followed Viper into the pits. Viper's on his way out now. So San in, Soph also in. Element has got fresh hards on, so he can go to the end. And this is going to play Element into the picture a little bit here. He's going to get game positions on San and Soph. He won't have to pit from here, so he could be in a strong position. Also, it's going to benefit Andrew Pipsmith because he'll be able to save his tyres a little bit. He put those tyres on lap 7. So I don't know, if the safety car stays out for maybe 3-4 laps, then Andrew may just be able to nurse those hard tyres to the end of the race. It would be an extreme push for a man in the McLaren to do that. But, I mean, he would have to probably back off a little bit and take it easy. Go very, very kind on those tyres, but I don't know, maybe it's doable for him. We'll have to wait and see as these guys coming out of the final corner, about to complete lap 16. No signs of certain drivers catching up to the pack yet. As RaKiMaJe is actually on the pack, so he's a minute off the leaders. He's a lap down, but he is with the pack, so we don't have to worry about him catching up to the pack. We've got King of 69. I think King of 69 and Soph are the furthest off of the pack who are on the lead lap, so we'll be waiting on them to catch up, and then once they've caught up to the pack, we should be able to go green. But they're about 45 seconds off of the pack at the moment, so I don't know, we should probably be able to go end of this lap, I would imagine. It might be a bit touch and go. But Bennett leading the race at the moment ahead of Andrew Pipsmith. Horatio in 3rd. Philby on fresh mediums in 4th place. Will probably still need to come in before the end. 17 laps on mediums would be no mean feat. Would be a bit of a push. But one thing he's got as an advantage over Bennett is that he'll be able to put the softs on at the end. So his advantage over Bennett and Horatio would be the softs as opposed to the mediums in the final stint of the race, which would mean he'd have a much faster car. But Andrew Pittsmith, got to be my dark horse. Not even dark horse, I mean he's a main contender now, but he's got to be my pick for this one. I think he is in the best position in this race, for sure. Here we go, the guys' safety car coming in at the end of this lap. So, Bennett leading this race. Andrew Pittsmith on the hard tyres just behind him. May not have to pit again. Horatio in 3rd place will definitely have to pit again. Philby probably has to pit again, but will be able to do a stint on the softs at the end. So that will give him a pace advantage in the final few laps of the race. Viper in P5 also on the mediums in the same boat as Philby, as is San. Polish My Balls and Element on reasonably fresh hard tyres. Polish My Balls tyres very fresh. King 69 on the hards as well, but on slightly more worn out. Sophie in 10th, Mark Bow and RaKiMaJe completing the top 12, and that is that for the classification. Into turn 1 we come. On the restart, Viper already looking to the inside of Philby into turn 1. He's got that move done as Viper. Brilliant stuff up into 4th place. Bennett's though leading the race here up into turn 2, as he's already got a bit of a gap here to Andrew Pittsmith. Andrew Pittsmith is trying to defend from Horatio coming on the exit of the turn 2, but he's holding on for the time being. Viper though doing a great job getting ahead of Philby up into 4th, and the lap car there, the Ferrari getting well out of the way. As Polish My Balls just ahead of Element there. King 69, Soph getting well out of the way. Mark Bow, True Monkey Page. In fact, no, it's True Monkey Page. It's a lap down. Apologies. But Bennett, though, leads by 1.4 seconds. Has already pulled out a bit of a gap at the front here on the opening half a lap of this restart. Andrew Pittsmith, Horatio, and Viper all very close. Philby and San also on the back of this pack. 6 cars currently leading out the front here in this race. Andrew Pittsmith, though, is going to have his work cut out here, keeping these guys behind him because he's on the hards and he's done 10 laps on them already. He's already losing hand over fist to the race leader Bennett LCFC since this restart. So Bennett is on an absolute charge here in this race. 2 seconds already the gap now. And we start at lap 20 here. Bennett LCFC got that gap that he needs. Ratio not quite close enough. DRS won't be open on this lap. DRS will be opening at the start of lap 22. Philby having a look to the inside of Viper, can get it done. If he had DRS, I think he might have had that one done. So Polish My Balls has gone a little bit wide there. Element not able to cap. Oh, as you know, he is going to get a capitalise actually. Element up the inside in towards turn 2, up into 7th place. Nicely done there from Element. Q69 running just ahead of Sofa at the moment. There's Mark Byrne 11th and Tree Monkey Page completing the classification here. Andrew Pittsmith has got his hands absolutely full of this Red Bull of Horatio here. He's looking to try and get a good run up in towards the chicane if he can. A little bit too far back coming into the corner right now, as Viper's dropping off of these two ever so slightly so far on this lap. Philby falling off of these guys at the front. Surprising, really. Philby's Mr. Consistent, but right now he's not on the pace of the leaders. Hopefully he can find that groove that he was in the first part of the race, where we see Andrew Pittsmith dropping down to 3rd. Horatio gets up in position and can now try and chase down his teammate Bennett, who is in the lead of the race. These two pitted within a lap of each other. Both teammates obviously couldn't come in on the same lap, but they're now controlling the pace here. Red Bull, a track that they tend to go well at Hungary. San is up into 6th. He's got ahead of Element. Their Element down a position. Obviously San on those fresh medium tyres would have the pace over Element at this point. DRS enabled this lap, but they wasn't enabled down the start straight. It will be enabled between turn 3 and turn 4 up the hill. And who's in striking distance there for a bit of DRS? Maybe Viper on Andrew could be. If Andrew falls out of DRS on Horatio, then he might be a sitting duck here for Viper. Viper needs to try and get this move done on his teammates. He's on those medium tyres. He'll be fresher, and they're on different strategies, but I think he's a bit too far back at the moment to get anything done, and isn't going to be able to make the most of it up into turn 4. Philby right on the back of Viper back again. Dan just ahead of Element, having made that move, but Element's not giving up in this fight. These two 1.4 ahead of the Polish My Balls has made the move on. No, pulled away from Soph even. King of 69 very close on the back of Soph though. That's, oh my goodness me. What's happened there? Viper's had an incident there, and he's lost out massively there. He's dropped well off of Andrew, his teammate. Philby up into 4th. He's 1.2 behind Andrew at this point. Didn't see what happened to Viper there. I don't know if he lost it by himself, because nobody else seems to have been hindered in that little exchange. There's Element now looking to the inside of San, but can't get it done. Looks like he was going to make the move there, but in the end just ducked out of it at the last second. Philby's going to have DRS on Andrew as they're about to come down the main straight. Element's ahead of San up into 5th place. See if Philby can get closer to Andrew coming down the start-finish straight. He's too far back to make the move, but he'll definitely close the gap to him a bit coming down this part of the track. Bennett pulling out the gap to his teammate Horatio, 4.3 between those two. Andrew still ahead of Philby, just about. Philby though, really close on the exit of turn 1, and he's going to have to run down to turn 2. He's going to have DRS wide open. He's going to throw it up the inside. Andrew too alert and alive to that. Philby though was trying to feint to the inside and then switch back. Couldn't get it done, and he's going to have to tuck in behind for the time being. Is he going to get another bite of DRS up here? I don't think you get DRS down in this part of the track actually. You used to in past years in F1, maybe not in 2021. Didn't notice this year whether or not they had DRS down this part of the track, but Philby for the time being tucking in behind him. And Element still running just ahead of Tan at the moment in 5th and 6th places. Polish My Balls joining this battle for 5th, right on the back of these guys right now. These have gapped Soph and Viper. Viper behind Soph, having made that mistake into the chicane on the previous lap, now trying to look ahead of the Ferrari up into 8th if he possibly can. A bit too far back into the chicane though. King of 69 has been split by Viper from his battle with Soph at the moment. Mark Bow still running 11th place. Tree Monkey Page at the back, not been the race for him at all. Bennett LCFC though coming into the final corner, and he's got 13 laps left to go once again. We've seen this so many times in the last couple of weeks. Bennett LCFC seems unstoppable in this Wednesday and Sunday Formula 1 League. What can anybody do about him? He's taken the last 3 wins and looks on course to make it 4 in a row here. Can anyone do anything about it? Philby could be a contender if he wasn't so far back and struggling to get ahead of Andrew Pittsmith. We know Philby can put the soft tyres on for the final stint. Bennett's going to have to come in and get those mediums changed pretty soon, I would imagine. But Philby's got ahead of Andrew Pittsmith there up into turn 2, so he can now set his sights on Horatio. He's 7 seconds behind the leader Bennett LCFC though at this point. Could Philby be tasting yet another defeat at the hands of Bennett LCFC? That's the last thing he needs as Tree Monkey Page sets the fastest lap of the race in the Ferrari from P12. So Bennett's still out in front and still controlling this race. What a brilliant drive from him so far. Soph has got up into 8th, fighting out with Viper. Viper gives him a bit of a tap in the rear though and forces his way through. Definitely unstabilised Soph's car a little bit, but it gets the move as a result of it. Soph might not be too happy with that one. As King69 spun out, into the wall in the background there, gets well onto the grass and tagged the wall a little bit. Is he going to have damage on the car? Hopefully not. He continues off on his way, but that was a little bit of a skirmish there for King of 69 to say the least. In the meantime, Philby's closing the gap to Horatio a little bit. He's matching the lead of Bennett LCFC at this point as Bennett sets his personal best there. But Horatio sets his personal best there, but still being honed in by Philby since Philby managed to get ahead of Andrew Pittman, and Philby sets the fastest lap of the race there. So Philby is on it here, looking to try and get this win if he can. He would, as I said earlier on, he's going to be pretty damn tired with seeing Bennett winning every race in the last couple of weeks. I wonder if Bennett is trying to extend this stint so that he can put the softs on and be a match for Philby, because Philby can definitely go long into the stint and put the softs on. He'll probably go to about lap 28, I would imagine, and then he's guaranteed to be able to go full send and get those softs to the end of the race. But right now, the gap between Bennett and Horatio, his teammate, is 4 seconds. I wonder if Horatio is going to play the team game here once Philby gets into the back of him, because Philby's got the pace, and at this rate, we'll close in on him and get onto him. So I wonder if now there's going to be a bit of team play between Bennett and Horatio. Maybe Horatio is going to try and hold Philby at bay for as long as he can. Who knows? As Andrew Pittsmith has got Element behind him. Element is on fresher tyres by 6 laps. They're both running on the hard compound, but Element may have a chance of getting up into P4 here as they're about to come out of the final corner. You'll have DRS down the start-finish straight as here they come out of the final corner now. But Element gets a horrible exit out to the start-finish straight, and that's going to put a nail of his chances of getting up into P4 for now. Horatio still sat in second place. Philby's got the gap down to around 2 seconds, but it's kind of just ebbing and throwing at the moment. And the gap between Bennett and Philby's now staying around the same, sort of just under 7 seconds. So Bennett looks like he's got this under control at the moment. 11 laps in this race, including the one they're currently on. Bennett will probably try and put a set of the soft on in order to be a match for Philby in these final few laps of the race. Horatio, let's not forget about him, although he is dropping off of Bennett, and that's why I keep talking about Philby and not Horatio. Not because Horatio's not a good driver, but because of the fact that Philby seems to be quicker than both of these front two at this point, and Bennett seems to have the measure over his teammate at this point in the race. But that could all change very quickly. If Bennett makes a mistake, then Horatio is going to be there on hand to take that lead of the race. You can absolutely bet on that for sure. Andrew's still keeping Element behind him, 4 tenths between these two at the moment. Bennett's got the lead though, and he's got just over 4 seconds to Horatio. Philby's really carving that gap down. But he's lost a bit of time actually to that middle sector there. Lost about half a second to Horatio. Don't know what happened there. Maybe went a bit wide, possibly got onto the grass a little bit, who knows. Possibly had to correct himself, but he's just dropped off of Horatio a little bit. That's going to give Horatio a bit of breathing space and that time to just regather himself together. We'll know that the AlphaTauri has dropped off him a little bit at this point in the race. Element's still very close to the back of Andrew Pittsmith, 4 tenths separating them coming into turn 1. Bennett's still doing the business out of the front, currently 4.3 back to Horatio. He's 6 seconds ahead of Philby. Philby once again closing on to the back of Horatio a bit now, just over 2 seconds, so he's gained about 6-7 tenths over the course of the last couple of sectors here. 2 tenths down on his personal best in the first sector. Element's still on the back of Andrew Pittsmith, can't get down into turn 4. But this race looking like it could be pretty open between these top 3. Bennett's done 15 laps on his mediums and will be looking to bring it in as soon as he can. Philby in third. Horatio has done 14 laps on his. I mean, these two have gone long as anything on this stint. I wonder, does Philby roll the dice and decide to try and go to the end on his medium tyres? Potentially it could be his best chance of a win here, or is he going to go for the soft and try and outpace these two in the final few laps? At this point, with the way that these last few races have gone, with Bennett LCFC taking the last 3 wins, I would not be at all surprised if Philby did decide to try and go to the end on these mediums, but it would be a real stretch. It would be incredible if he were to do it. He'd have to go 19 laps on them. I don't think it's doable. I think his best bet in this race is to try and outpace them if he can, is to put the softs on and just try and go quicker than in the last few laps. That's going to be his best hope. He's going to be really, really hard pushed to win this race, just down to the fact that he's got Horatio in between himself and Bennett, and Bennett is obviously teammate of Horatio, currently leading this race, so Horatio's going to do everything he can to try and keep Philby at bay. Maybe Philby's got to do the opposite of Horatio. I imagine they'll be coming into the pit window for the soft tyres on this lap. So the question now is, what does Philby do in relation to Horatio? He probably needs to try and do the opposite and get either the undercut or the overcut, depending on what happens on this lap. But this is going to be very exciting in these final knockings of this race. We've got 8 laps left to go here at the Hungary ring. And Bennett LCFC looking set to take his 4th win in a row at this point, but that could all change in the blink of an eye as he's coming into the final corner. He's staying out for now as well. Is Horatio going to come in? No, Horatio's staying out as well, and Philby's staying out. The top 3 all staying out as we're starting lap 28. So 8 laps left to go, including this one. Maybe they're going to wait one more lap to put the softs on. But in the meantime, Andrew's managed to get Element a little bit now. Could Andrew maybe bring himself into contention for this win, possibly? I don't know. I mean, he's 11 seconds off of the lead. 11 seconds off of the lead. Losing time to the leaders, but Bennett's tires can be wearing off pretty quickly. And I don't know, if he rolls the dice and stays out, he'll be leading the race. We don't know how this one's going to pan out, but there's plenty of options for all of the top 5 to potentially win this race. Element can definitely go to the end of this race, 100%, and he's currently in pit stop range of all of the top 3. So Element currently looking like he's in a better position than Andrew Pittsmith. These two, Andrew and Element, could be in a great position here. Hey, Horatio coming into the pits, first of the top 3 to roll the dice. Bennett obviously can't come in because he's teammates with Horatio, and he's ahead of him. But Philby now into second place. Now this is Philby's chance. He's got to absolutely light it up here on this on this in lap if he is going to come in at the end of this lap, or maybe he's going to try and go to the end. Maybe he's going to try and go to the end. Maybe he's not going to pit for the softs. Maybe he's going to try and long it out. His medium tyres will be on a knife's edge by the end of the stint if he tries to do that, but who knows at this point. This strategy is wide open. Element within 6/10 of Andrew Pittsmith, and Element has come out 10 seconds ahead of Horatio. Horatio was 4 seconds behind Bennett, so at this rate, Element would be... Well, Andrew Pittsmith would come out 6 seconds ahead of Bennett. Element 5 seconds ahead of him, or 5.5. At this point, Andrew and Element looking pretty strong. If they can go to the end, then they could be the ones to fight out the finish here of this race. But Bennett and Philby on those mediums, this is absolutely brilliant here. I really don't know how this is going to go. Any one of these top 6 could feasibly win this race. Horatio. Well, excuse me. Oh no, Horatio and Sand have had an incident there. Oh no, please don't be a safety car. Please, for the love of... Oh, for God's sake. Oh no. Oh no, that was going to be such a good end to that race. Oh no. Oh, that's ruined it. Oh, for God's sake. So Horatio in the pits, Bosch, My Balls and Viper also in. Oh no. I was looking forward to that so much. Oh God. So San out of the race, and the guys who were in the top part of the race, wow, looks like Bennett, Philby, Andrew and Element opting to stay out. Obviously with the safety car being out, it's going to mean it's going to give their tyres a stay of execution, so to speak. So I don't know, maybe this could help them to get to the end, all 4 of them. Viper's come in. Horatio is going to be all over the back of these guys in front of him. Polish My Balls and Horatio both in good positions because they're on fresh softs at this point. And they've got a load of drivers all with very worn out tyres right in front of them. So Horatio now could be a big contender. He's in 7th place. We know he's got speed and he's on fresh soft tyres, so could be in with a shout. Bennett and Andrew both coming in. Philby's rolling the dice and staying out, but Bennett, Andrew and Element are all coming in, so I guess that's to be expected in a way. They've got a free pit stop, Viper 30 seconds off of them. So Bennett comes out in P2 with fresh soft tyres, and he's going to be all over Philby in the final few laps of this race. Now, when is the safety car going to come in? That's going to be the big question now. How many laps of racing are we going to have at the end of this race? Philby, though, taking a massive gamble, but then again, you can't really blame him, can you? Because the way the last few races have gone, Bennett taking 3 wins in a row, he's got to be sick and tired of coming second or coming wherever to Bennett. Bennett's been winning the last few races. He's been winning left, right and centre. And Philby probably knows that his best chance of winning the race is to stay out and get track position and then just defend like crazy for these last couple of laps. That's got to be his best bet here in this race. Philby's just got to make that Alpha Tauri. He's got to turn that thing into a tractor, basically. He's got to turn it into a combine harvester and just make the track as narrow as he can, make his car as wide as possible. And ultimately, is it going to work out? We'll have to see. So, quick calculation, how far is Mark Bowe off the leader? He's about 40 seconds behind. I reckon I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we're probably going to go racing at the end of lap 32, which is going to give us 3 laps of racing. So ultimately it's going to boil down to, can Philby get his elbows out for 3 laps? He'll be hoping and praying that this safety car stays out for as long as possible. I'll tell you one man who could really sort of change the balance of this race. That is King of 69. If King of 69 were to come in for a fresh set of soft or something and just long out the safety car period, do the bits for his teammate, maybe then, oh no, look at that, just as I say it, he's slowing down a bit there. He definitely backed off a bit there, didn't he? He's trying to go as slow as he can, trying to buy his teammate as much time as he can, which, you know, completely understandable, but he's got to make sure that he hits that minimum delta speed, otherwise he'll get a sizable penalty. Saying that though, he's in that final points playing position, but he wants to kind of play this as well as he can for Philby and give and buy him that time that he's got out the front. Is Mark Bowe on the lead lap? If he is, then no, he's not. So we could be under safety car for a while yet, to be fair. And the longer that we're under safety car, the more it plays into this man's hands. Bennett will be itching to get on with this, because the more time that the safety car stays out, the less time he's going to have at the end of this race to get ahead of Philby and potentially get the win off this race. But really, at this point, this could go any one of, I'd say realistically, 4 ways. Philby on the mediums, obviously very worn up mediums, but he has got the lead, and crucially for him also, there's going to be no DRS for the final few laps, so he can use his ERS, he can just do his best to try and keep Bennett behind him, but Bennett's not going to get the aid of DRS before we get to the end of the race, because we've only got 3 laps left, so DRS is enabled on lap 3 of any race start, whether it be a full race start or a restart. So ultimately he's not going to get any bite of the cherry to try and use that rear wing advantage, is Bennett. So Philby's definitely got the advantage here. Bennett trying to just get into his head a little bit, trying to play games if he can. And Philby's the one playing games. He's dropping way back off the safety car. True Monkey Page has left the session, so he's out of this one, unfortunately. For him, that's a real shame. But looks like we're going to have 2 laps of racing, unless the others take their sweet time about getting up onto the back of this pack. Or is the race director going to call the bluff of these guys? Oh, King of 69 is going a little bit far, isn't he? Come on. Come on, mate. Yeah, I don't know. I do hope we go racing at the end of this lap, because I don't think it'd be right if we finish on the safety car, just because certain drivers decided to take forever to come into the pits. I don't think that would be fair on Bennett. I think he deserves a shot at this at least. You know, I understand that he's won the last 3 races, but I think he deserves at least a shot at racing for this win. As Sam's left the session. But Philby currently on course to end Bennett's run of 3 race wins in a row. Safety car is in this lap, so race control called the bluff there of the drivers who are coming into the pits. So this is it then. 2 laps to go. Philby's got to make that AlphaTauri as wide as he possibly can. The safety car's going to peel off here at the end of this lap. Now the question is, has he got enough grip in those medium tyres to keep Bennett, Andrew and Polish My Balls behind him, and Horatio and Soph and Mark Bow and Viper and Element and King of 69? All of these drivers on fresh stuff behind him. Philby has done 16 laps on these medium tyres. He's going to have to try and catch him out on this restart. And here we go. We're off. We're racing here at the Hungary ring for the final 2 laps of this race. No DRS. Looks like Horatio's side by side here with Polish My Balls down towards turn 1. Horatio's up into 4th place. He's already made a strong start to this one. He's now into that top 4 already. Bennett hassling the back of Philby. Let's get rid of that. Don't know what's going on there. But Bennett all over Philby into turn 2. Philby defending absolutely everything he's got here as they come into the corner, but holding on to the lead for the time being. These two going at it here on the final lap and a half of this race. Andrew Pitts was already dropped off them a little bit now as Andrew's defending from Horatio. Horatio trying to look at the inside of turn 4, can't get it done. Tucking it in behind him, Polish My Balls all over him. Oh no! Horatio spins out there into the wall. He gets away without any damage, but the whole pack almost is going to come past him there. And Bennett's ahead of Philby, up into the lead. So Bennett's got that done, but Philby cuts the chicane. Philby cuts the chicane and comes back at him. Philby back up into the lead of the race. Incredible stuff here between these two. I wonder if he got forced wide by Bennett and that's why he cut the chicane, because he hasn't been penalised for it. And Philby back up into the lead. This is great racing between these two. I thought Philby was down and out on those worn out medium tyres. I thought that Bennett had got the job done as we Bo's out of the race. If that's a safety car, that is going to bring Philby this win on the plate. But we're about to start the final lap. Looks like it's just going to be double waved yellows for this one. But these two coming out of the final corner, it's going to be a 1 lap dash to the flag here between these two. Philby and Bennett, the big rivals here in this F1 Wednesday and Sunday League. Bennett on a run of 3 race wins in a row. Currently the only man that stands between him and a 4th win in a row is Philby, and Philby's doing everything he can to try and stop that run of form. And then he's going to try and defend to the inside, but Bennett's already there on the inside. Has he overshot the corner a little bit? No, he's got that perfectly parked on the inside. And now Bennett, LCSC, into the lead of the race on those fresh soft tyres. And I think he might have that done up into the lead of the race. Philby powerless to fight back. Bennett LCFC has gone after him in this final couple of laps of this race. He's got the lead now, and I can't see Philby coming back at him. It's going to be another win by the looks of it for Bennett LCFC. Philby really fought him valiantly in the final part of this race, but had no answer to those fresh soft tyres. And Bennett LCFC looks like he is going to ram home that advantage here in the final half a lap. Polish My Balls driving a great race up into the podium spots. Andrew Pittsmith unlucky with the safety cars, is going to lose out on his chances of a podium. Soph in 5th. Great drive from Soph up into P5 in the last couple of laps there. Element 6th, 5 for 7th. King 69 is going to finish this one in 8th place. Horatio after that. Mayor on the last couple of laps in 9th. Tree Monkey Page will get the final point. I think he's left the session though. But Bennett LCFC out of the final corner here in Hungary. He's going to take round 9 of the season. He comes over to finish the race. He's got a 5-second penalty. But Philby, I think Philby had a penalty as well. We're going to have to hang fire on this one. Polish My Balls, it says, has got the race win. So I think Polish My Balls may have taken his first win. I don't know, unconfirmed yet. We're going to wait for the timing screen to pop up yet, but I think that Polish My Balls may have just won his first race here. Congratulations if he has. That is incredible stuff. Was there or thereabouts on the restart, was Johnny on the spot, and I think he may have just made the most of those two in front of him having the penalties. Here we go, race confirmation screen is about to pop up now. Polish My Balls gets the driver of the day, can't argue with that. He's driven brilliantly onto the podium, but has he won the race? Polish My Balls is the race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Philby and Bennett fighting it to the flag, but both of them had a penalty, and it's the man in the Alfa Romeo who comes home to take the spoils. Well done, Polish My Balls, mate. Absolutely brilliant stuff. I believe that's his first win here in the league. Well done. What a drive there. Really, really kept himself in contention right to the flag. I think Bennett takes second ahead of Philby in third. But what a race there. Absolutely brilliant action from lights to flag, really. Polish My Balls confirmed as the race winner. Bennett and Philby both with 5-second penalties. So Polish My Balls just kept going, didn't he? Kept believing, never gave up, and gets the reward for it. Takes the win. Bennett second, Philby third. Stove not far off of a podium in the end in fourth place. Andrew Pittsmith fifth, Element sixth, King 69 in seventh place, Horatio eighth, Viper ninth, with RaKiMaJe taking the final point. Mark Bosan, Mr. Exotic, and Paul Cod all crashed out before the end. Didn't make it to the flag. Great racing tonight. Guys, if you like what you see, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get involved in the community, then go to the description and click on either one of the links. One of them's to this community, the F1 community, the other one's to Motive Racing. Have a great evening, everybody. And we will see you in the next one on Sunday evening. Also join us on Friday night for a bit of F1 action here at Motive as well. And yeah, see ya. Continuing to lead, and just Jose having a little look